Good morning. I cannot find my camera stand, so I'm gonna have to deal with wobbly. I wanted to go over some stuff. First of all, the potatoes under deep wood chip mulch are starting to emerge. This is the new mulch that was just laid down this spring. I had some friends who came over and helped me with that. That was amazing. You can see a lot of grass out there. Most of that is onion grass. I don't mind the onion grass coming up. I'm keeping an eye out for all of the other nonsense. So there's another potato right there. Okay, so this section back here is old wood chip mulch. It's been down for a couple of years, and you can see the onions doing great. We'll have to wait and see how they manage when it's hot and they're not getting watered, but we'll see. These are commercial onions, so again, new environment, new conditions. I am not planting my special seeds. So here again is another potato. I have to be really careful where I walk because my rows were not straight. Okay, now here's where we come into a problem, because this area is my tomatoes. Again, deep wood chip mulch underneath, deep wood chip mulch with clay soil underneath. And I did the trench method, laid them down in the trench. I planted 31, and about, I believe, 14 have survived. I think something is eating them. There may be, there's one sad little guy right there. I think something may be eating them. I'm not sure because the plants are just disappearing. So most of the plants that are under the caps are doing okay. I found 6 this morning where the tomato appears to have just disappeared that were under caps. And then over here, there is one that has just been, oh, where is it? Right, right there. Okay, now I can see it. It froze off, but the stem is still green, so I'm waiting to see if that one will come back from the root. We'll have to wait and see. Now this is the wood chip area. I am not planning on watering this. So potatoes in this first section. This second section is melons. It's mixed melons. Some are musk melons, some are cantaloupe, some are honeydew, some are heirloom varieties, some are hybrid varieties. I'm really not concerned at this point. I just want to see, first of all, if they will grow in this environment. So I put them in the wood chips on the ground underneath the wood chips and then covered them over. This section right here, I was very, very surprised this morning. I realized this morning that there's a lot of grass coming up in this section, and I decided to check some of it and see what it was. And it is not grass. This is not grass. It is corn. We've got corn growing all through here. Now, this was some very, very old seeds. I had them listed as 2012. I was not expecting high germination. I planted them last Friday or Saturday. Today's Monday. I planted them last Friday or Saturday, and there are a lot of corn coming up in here. So I need to be very, very careful where I walk. I yanked one thinking that it was, you can see the remains right there. Yanked one thinking that it was grass, and it turned out to be corn. So I have lots and lots of corn throughout this whole area, and it is coming up quite nicely. There's more right there. There's a lot out here. I just scattered it, but it was listed as 2012, so these seeds are 13 years old, and they just popped right up. They are so happy out there, but I need to keep an eye on it. I'm hoping that some of them will survive the summer. Again, I'm not going to be watering this. I'm hoping that some of them will survive the summer, and we shall see. The cherry tree is not doing well, but it did put out some blossoms, and it did put out some leaves. So let's come over here and see. And again, I'm walking on all of this green stuff going, is this corn? Is this corn? Okay, so half of the tree, basically half of the tree didn't bud out, and it looks like it's still got leaf buds, but like this over here, the flower buds came out, but the leaf buds did not. And that half of the tree was just fine. So in looking at the flower buds, it does not look like I have any fruit set. It may be doing a delayed blossoming, which would be good. So again, over here, and I'm walking on all of this green stuff going, is that corn? Okay, so these are the apricots. All 5 of them came back from the winter. I did not think that they were going to. This one right here, it looks really tiny. I accidentally buried it in wood chips. It's coming up from about 10 inches down. I accidentally buried it in wood chips last fall, and then I couldn't find it, but it came back. So it is doing just fine. And then we've got another apricot here, and another apricot here. A lot of things are really, really enjoying the wood chips, which I expected. Let's see, we've got that bush right there, but I was looking, oh, here it is. Okay, I don't remember exactly what was planted here. I do know that I planted something at the end of each row to mark the end of each row. Again, that bush right there, I believe is a high bush cranberry, but I'm not sure. This may be aronia. But in any case, this spring, for the first time, we had a grapevine survive the winter. And there it is right there. I always have a hard time centering when I'm using the camera. So it survived the winter, and it came back, and it has leaves on it. This one, I'm not sure yet. It does have buds on it, but it isn't sprouting yet. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. Okay, so then we have the peach tree row. You can see all of the trees there. One of the purchase trees did produce and set seed, so we're gonna just leave that. Again, none of this has been watered. Let me rephrase that. I have not watered any of this. It's under deep wood chip mulch. The trees are on the edge of the grass, which is fine. That one blossomed this year, but there was no fruit set. Okay, this area is beans and corn. I planted beans. I planted a bean seed and a corn seed in each hole. Some of them I planted 2 corn seeds and a bean seed. You can see that there is corn coming up. There are also beans coming up. Now, this was unexpected. I did not remember that I planted potatoes in here last year, but I must have. So we've got potatoes coming up in this section. So all of this, you can see the corn coming up, and it's coming up staggered, which is fine. This was planted, again, deep wood chip mulch, and it was deep. So I planted into the soil underneath the deep wood chip mulch. So these are coming up, if you count the wood chips, these are probably coming up from 6 to 8 inches down. Leaf, beans, and corn. Now, every place that I planted a bean, I also planted corn, so we'll have to wait and see if the corn comes up in that particular location. Whoa, oops, dropped something. Okay. So these, if counting the wood chips, which is really hard for plants to get through, this we're looking at 6 to 8 inches depth. No watermelons yet. I was really, let me show you this. Peaches! Peaches, peaches, peaches. I'm not expecting the seedling peaches to produce yet. Probably another year or two before that happens. Okay, so these were purchased, but for the first time I have a raspberry that has survived. This one is a Nanking cherry, and another raspberry coming up from the root. Yay! I've been here for not 4 years. I've been here since 2002. And there's another Nanking cherry. So it's coming together. Things are starting to actually grow in this soil. So there's a lot of things that, because this right here, the Nanking cherry, this is planted on top of a dead chicken, or what is left of a dead chicken since it got dug up. And this raspberry, again, planted on top of a dead chicken. So planting the chickens deep in the soil seems to be helping fix the soil. When a chicken dies, I bury it. If it dies without me knowing why it died, I bury it. All right. So here we're back to the main garden. Now, the wood chip mulch is a starter set. It's a starter. It's not, eventually the wood chips are going to break down, and in theory, I will not be replacing them. I may change my mind on that, but I'm turning into an old lady, and I really, pull this out, I really do not want to be hauling wood chips when I'm 80 years old. I'm not 80 years old right now, but I don't want to be hauling wood chips when I am. So the idea is to get the earthworms and the bugs and the roots working on the soil underneath, and pull the organics down into the soil and create good soil out of this. So, okay, so I'm walking back through the tomatoes. Oh, yes, forgot to show you. This is the wood chip piles that are left after spreading it across the garden. I decided to do, this is a marshmallow. Now the soil underneath these wood chips remains relatively damp all through the summer. So I'm growing a different kind of garden over here on this edge. This one is marshmallow, but I put in strawberries, a raspberry again. I actually have raspberries growing. Strawberry and strawberries. I'll be putting in more strawberries today, but in the meantime, I actually have strawberries and raspberries growing in this soil. It's absolutely amazing. So there's one of our surviving tomatoes. I need to be really careful where I walk because unfortunately my rows were not at all straight. Okay, so here's where we start to get into the potatoes. I don't want to step on the potatoes that may be coming up in the next few days. There's a potato right there. There's a potato back there. There's a potato here and a potato there and a potato in the wood chips. Okay, I planted 2 rows of green beans here, again commercial varieties, because I don't want to use my special seeds until I know how things respond. And onions are doing very well. That's a pear tree right there, the little one, and an apple tree over there. And coming up in the apple row, I believe that these are pears. There are 3 of them there. I'm not sure whether they're pears. This one's rhubarb. But I think those 3 are pears, and then these over here are apple seedlings. So we'll see what they do. And I'll show you in a couple of days. It looks like the sage is blooming, so that should be nice when the sage blooms. Hey birds, how you doing? They're scared of me right now, and that's okay. Okay, this is the dry garden. Again, this will never be watered. Well, in theory. I have some, I think that one's spinach. And these over here they've got the red stems of beets. I planted beets and spinach throughout this area. I broad forked this area and then just spread spinach and beet seeds, and we'll see how things go there. I will do the dry garden at another time. I want to show you what I'm doing in the dry garden, but this is already getting very long. Okay, again, both plum trees survived the winter. I'm not sure. I think this may be a mulberry. I know what I planted there, and it was not a mulberry. It was a hazelnut, but I think this one may be a mulberry. We'll have to wait and see. I planted a hazelnut there last year, and I thought that it had died, and then that thing came up. So, okay, so let's take a look here. This, you can barely see the stalk, but you can see the tag. This is a commercial blackberry, and nothing has happened. This is a commercial raspberry, I believe. And again, nothing has happened. There is, in this spot, there is no, that one's, okay, that's the blackberry. That was a blackberry right there. And it's actually got leaves on it. Yay! Okay, and I don't think, I know I planted something in there, but I don't think it survived the summer and the winter. And this one right here, if you look in deep, you can see that there is a hazelnut, tiny, tiny, tiny hazelnut growing right there. Okay. Again, I think that's a mulberry. I'm not sure where the mulberries are coming from. I may end up pulling them out and putting in other varieties that fruit better. I don't know. And this one is a blackberry. So that is a partial garden tour. I don't want this to get too long. Right now, it's all grass outside the fence, and I will do a separate video of the greenhouse and a separate video of the dry garden. I will talk with you later.